Ladies and gentlemen, I the broadcast is live now. My name is Richard Villa. Welcome to Yerbabuena. Thank you very much for joining us. I have an amazing guest. This guy is not only a great comedian, but also one of my best friends in the business. He is what you call an oxymoron. He is the friendly cholo. If you don't know what a cholo is, I'll introduce you to Joe El Cholo. Give him a big round of applause. Joe El Cholo. What's
What's
up,
up?
buddy? You are.
Hello, Richard. Hello, hello. How are you?
Hello, 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 the Asian cholo.
How are you?
What's up, buddy? You're just high. You're not Asian.
Yeah, man. It was. I did a wake in. I just stood bake all morning, man. You know what I'm saying?
You
Like,
just started baking.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
listen, bro, just a pleasure to see you
Hey,
again. Um,
likewise, my boy.
I don't think the people in the UK know what a cholo is. Can you explain to them what you are? Like, you're Mexican just like me, but there's a difference between paisas and cholos. Hello, Elis. ¿Cómo estás? Hello, hello. Cholo, explain to them what a cholo is.
All right, man. For those of you out there, man, I'm Joe El Cholo, man. And for those of you that don't know what a cholo is, it's a Mexican Boy Scout. You know, we're just like the bad version. You know what I'm saying? We're the ones that we start fires on purpose, not an accident. You know what I'm saying? you know, and if you're lucky, you like the difference between us and those Boy Scouts is that they get patches and we get tattoos, homie. So the severe the crime, the better the tattoo. You know.
Now, there's a myth. They say that the teardrop, that means you killed somebody. Is that
Well,
true?
you know what? Me from for being a good cholo a long time, I have to do. I'm like a cholo whisperer. I'm a gangster whisperer. So what I do is I try to change that stereotype, and what I tell people to tell the people when they go look for a job, because that's the hardest part is looking for a job and you're having
As
that
a cholo?
teardrop.
Uh-huh.
Because the teardrop, a lot of people don't realize that the teardrop stands for murder, like you killed somebody and stuff like that. My definition is, yo, just tell them that you're a hard worker and that you're still sweating. You know what I'm saying? So, so that
That's
way
not a
you know,
tattoo.
man.
That's
You know. So yeah,
oh,
that's
dude. So you're a comic. I've seen you grow. I've seen you compete. I've seen you really, really flourish. Hey, what's up, Colin? How's it going? From the UK. Thank you very much, Colin, for
you
watching.
say.
I'm bringing you Joel Cholo, and he has an amazing story. Tell them where you come from, bro.
Well,
Where?
you know what, man? I come from a little city, man, called East LA, man. It's notorious. I think it's if you've ever from the UK or visited California, well, I know you've probably heard of East LA, man. And I grew up in that little rough. It was rough, man, when I was there. Because that was the transition between when you had your break dancers turn into taggers, turn into tag bangers, turn into party crew bangers, turn into rebel gang bangers to, you know, the quebradita taggers, bangers, rebels.
So you were in the '90s. That was your main squeeze in the '90s. That was your main
I
hustle.
I seen it all, man. All the transitions, the styles, and everything, man. And that was scary, dude. I'm telling you that much, man.
So,
It
because
was
you
it was a lot.
was it was it scary because you didn't know if it was a cholo or a tagger or a quebradita guy? Is that what it
Well,
was?
you like to distinguish a thug look. You want to know that okay, the cholos dress a certain way.
Hmm.
This is the way a cholo would look. Like they would be all like, "What's up?" Like wow. The tagger, they'll dress different. They dress more baggy, more colorful. They like to go spray on the walls. Now imagine you crossbreed both of them. Now you have a tag banger. So now I don't know if you're gonna try to shoot me
Or
or
spray
cross me
paint?
out
Uh
or
huh.
cross me out or shoot me. I don't know, man. Like I don't know what to look for anymore.
Now, did you belong to a gang?
I belong to an organization, man. I would like to say
All
that
right.
it was I wouldn't say even a gang. I would just say it was an organization that was built
And
on
uh
misfortunes, homie.
So no, Ellis, ¿cómo estás, Australia? Thank you very much. Greetings. They're saying hello from Australia, Joe.
Oh, much love, man. Australia. Hey, that's what I'm talking about, man. I would love to go to Australia, man. I would love to be out there, man, with the kangaroos and all that.
Would you change your wardrobe, or will you go? Is this? This is the thing: is what you wear. I see people dress up in Halloween as. Do you understand? Like nobody dresses up like Richard Villa, but people in Halloween dress up like you, and you wear it every day. Like this is this a
I'm used to
lifestyle
it,
for
man.
you?
If you ever see my pictures, like when I first started the cholo, like it was cholo, 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 cholo. So I didn't know what when people ask me like, can I dress casual? I would be like, yeah, I can dress casual with a Pendleton, with some
You may-
Dickies,
but you
you
wouldn't wear
know.
like some fitted 501s with like a polo shirt that's fitted.
No,
No, you wouldn't wear
I,
it. Why? Because
it
you
just
look like a.
it wasn't for me, you know. And it came in a good left because, well, you know what? Let me tell you a story. Hey, Colin, let me tell you a story about tagging. Okay, now remember, I started tagging probably like in 91, 92.
And what would you tag? What was your tag name?
Well, I'll tell you that story. That's what's so funny, man.
Right.
Now, you know, started hanging with my little homies, so they would tag on the wall. So they're like, "Well, you have to pick a name." So I was like, "Well, what do I like?" So I decided that I was gonna go with a name called Diesel, right? Hey, that's Diesel, cool. So I didn't really know how to write it. So what? When you don't know how to write something, you do what? You spell it out, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So now sound out Diesel, D
D,
I
yeah.
Z Z O, Diesel.
Uh,
Oh, cool.
these-
So I'm on the phone. I'm writing everywhere Diesel, and when people ask me, "Hey, what do you write?" I'm like, "Oh, I write Diesel." They're like, "Oh, we never seen you hit up." I'm like, "I do. I hit up everywhere." They're like, "Nah, man. We only see someone that writes Dizzle."
Dizzle.
I'm like, "Dizzle? How do they spell it?" They're like, Dizzo. I'm like, "Hey, that don't spell Diesel." They're like, "No." I was like,
Diesel.
I was like, "Ooh, interesting." That's we
Interesting.
were like, "Ooh,"
You're fucking dyslexic, Cholo. In literary Cholo. Now
like,
at that point, don't you go? I better go back to school. I better go back to school. I better
well, no,
study.
because people actually like that name better. People actually like because remember, it's just being creative, like being your own persona, So
Hmm.
being in the graffiti industry, the weirder your name sounded, the better, because
No, nobody
solos
put
their
like
names are
Diesel's
more
nuts. Nobody tagged Diesel's nuts.
because back then that those kind of catchphrases were not as big. Like now, everybody can make a pun out of anything,
Hmm.
So that's what I'm saying. Like back then, it was just kind of like, oh,
That's your
it
name.
worked out, but it was like, damn, dude, I'm like, I don't even
Was
get it,
what
man. Like,
was your dad a gangster?
yes,
A
yes,
cholo?
he belonged to, yeah, and like I said, man, some people then they make that decision, and to this day, he's still, and he loves his hood, man, and that's all I can say about that.
He don't love his kids, but he loves his hood.
Well, you know what? I wouldn't say he doesn't love his kid. It's just some people they just they what they believe in is what they believe in. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not that they don't love the kids. It's just that their belief in the gang is a lot stronger than the belief of being a good parent.
Hmm. Hmm.
And the way I look at it is like him not being in my life like I wanted to actually worked out for me because imagine having the wrong people in your life, man. They just complicate it, man. Everybody crying like I want my mom or dad, and I'm like, but your mom's a piece of shit, like why
So
would you want?
I was having this discussion the other day with a friend, and I said I have a stepbrother, a half brother. I'm sorry, not stepbrother, a half brother,
Oh, oh,
meaning my age. My dad was fucking around with some other lady and had a kid,
wow,
and I actually have two half brother and sister.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I tell my story of growing up with my dad selling crack cocaine and all the shit he did and the abuse he went through my mom. And this kid never met my dad. You know
Okay,
what I
okay,
mean?
okay.
He's a doctor at the UCLA Medical Center.
Wow. No
Oh,
way.
I had a dad and I'm a fucking comic. You understand? You understand the difference? So you didn't have a dad, but at least that allowed you to go to medical school and become a doctor.
You,
You know
yeah,
what I
you
mean?
became
So
somebody, you
so
know?
imagine if my dad lived with you. Instead, I was your half brother. Meaning he
Yeah.
took your mom and he left my mom behind and he raised you and nobody raised me. At
Ah,
that
okay, okay,
point,
okay.
I could have been the doctor. I could have been the one that didn't have the bad influence as a fucking dad. So
Right? Like you could have
yeah,
been
so
the
so don't ask for a father when you don't know what kind of piece of shit father he might be, because we'll give you ours. I'll
and
give
that's
you
what I'm
mine.
saying, man. For those that don't, like I said, we know, like it's everybody who wouldn't want a good father or a parent, you know. But sometimes you gotta thank, you gotta just thank God and nature for now, putting those wrong people in our lives, because
Mhm.
sometimes, like I said, man, you want that kind of love so bad that you're gonna get it, but it's not gonna be the love that you want. It's their ugly love, homie. So yeah, I don't.
Yeah. So
You
let me
know,
ask you this: did you ever get in trouble in the gang? Did they ever ask you to do something, or you volunteered, or did you ever do some fucked up shit while you were there that you regret now? You don't have to be
always, man.
specific, but huh?
Look, you're always gonna regret what you do because you never do it for the right reasons. Like I wasn't marching to better our lives. I wasn't out there, taking a stand to be a better person. I was out there, you know, being desmadroso in my way. So being a desmadroso means, just not
A
caring
thug,
about,
yeah, a hoodlum,
just
just
being careless, being, and so yeah, man, I'm always gonna regret not contributing to life in the right way, but it was fun while it lasted, that's the thing. It was fun while, because you wanted something, you went and took it,
yeah.
even if it didn't cost you anything, you're like, I don't care, I'm gonna jack what I want.
And take what
And
I want.
but I was never that type of dude anyways. I was never like a jacker, man. Regardless of joining a gang or not, I was raised by my grandma, man, that always showed me what's up. So anything I did wrong was because I just wanted to show off, man. It really wasn't because I needed to, but because I wanted to show people that, like, oh, I'm down too.
Did you ever shoot at somebody?
You get into some serious, discussions.
Yeah, it is. But I'm saying, I know with this whole cancel movement that's going on, that you're afraid to talk and say it. But I think the years have passed where you were young enough. If after 20 years, and you don't have to go specific, but you say, yeah, I had to pull the trigger sometimes. And did you do it because you needed to prove to the gang that you were down?
A lot of times you don't. It's not that you need to prove anything. You gotta prove to yourself if you're that type of gangster. Like, do you
Hmm.
got that heart to go out there and make it happen, or are you just them dudes that are in a gang because you were bullied or you were afraid and now you have protection. So because you're always everybody always has a different reason for why they join. Some it was a
So
family thing. Some people like the lifestyle. Some people they just made a life changing decision, or you know so it just depends, man. Like I said, speaking for me, like I said, anytime you had to go out there and put in work, man, either you did it because you had to do retaliation on the people that wanted to, that hurt your people, like, so you got to go back and let them know, like, okay, you kill one of us, we're gonna go kill two of yours and stuff. And it's a stupid cycle because in the end of the day, it's like we're fighting for territory that we don't even own,
it's
land that we
rented,
don't even.
rented apartments that as soon as you have to move out, you leave the hood. Colin is
Yeah,
asking, do you have any tattoos you regret, Joe? Any
yeah,
tattoos?
I do, I
Which
do.
one?
I would say the ones in my wrist,
What do
the
they
one in my
say?
chest. It says my neighborhood right here, my name, and
Uh-huh.
not only that, but the ones on my chest,
What do they
and then
say?
My initials for my neighborhood
Oh,
and
okay.
stuff, and then my one of them that I don't like is um you
Go
know
ahead. Go ahead.
it
Go
was a cover up done by some dumbass fool, and I should have known better, but
Okay. Okay.
I
Where
was
did you
high
meet
as
him first?
hell.
Though? Oh, you were high as hell. What is
So,
that? Oh.
so my daughter's
Oh.
name.
Oh. Okay.
So
My bell.
I should have just left it and just got a cover up through another homie, but I was at the moment, you're drinking, you're feeling good, and you're like, you know what,
Yeah. So
you
check it.
know,
Check this out. I regret this one, and I got this one on LA Inc.
oh wow, LA, oh shit,
LA Inc. on the show, third season. See that?
oh
That
shit,
yeah. I don't know if you can see it, but
I
yeah,
can't really
that
see
piece
it,
of
but
shit. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But that piece of shit tattoo,
what
they
is
did
it?
it
What
on.
is it?
It's a Mayan god,
Oh,
but
okay.
that's now. It's just they did a horrible job on it, and that's the only one I regret. But I did it on the actual show, and the first time they did a shitty job at it, and then my friend tried to fix it, but. I'm just gonna get it lasered out, but that's what I got, bro. Nothing like you. None of my gangs. Now, can't you get those removed for free?
You can get it removed, man. It's just, do I want to go to that pain? You
No.
know,
Do you still get hit up now? Do they see your hands and say, "Hey, what's up, homie"?
you get people that do look at my hands and do recognize my neighborhood and be like, hey, but like I said, man, I'm in a different part of my life now. When it comes to my career, and I think about things now, man. Like I think about like, man, dude, like, do I really want to throw everything I did? Like, look, man. For those of you that don't know, man, I'm a double amputee, man. So I didn't. When I started comedy with was one amputation, and now like about 5, 6 later, I got another amputation, so and then I think to myself, man, dude, like, and bro, like it's hard, homie, like trying to live your life disabled, but yet try to go out there and to prove to yourself and to everyone that, hey, it's just a lifestyle change, man. It's not a I'm not gonna let it cripple me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna let it destroy my, because I have no legs. Like, hey, there's people
Yeah.
out there, man, that can't even move their neck, bro.
But you are my inspiration. I tell people all the time. If Joe can get up, I can get up. You understand? Like
Exactly,
you
done.
inspire me since day one because you came in my life as a friend when I mean, I was like, dude, I was bitching and whining about all the good shit that was happening in my life, and then I see your life, and I said, look at this motherfucker with a smile on his face. How the fuck am I bitching? So you put things in perspective for certain people, and for me, it was one of those eye-opening experiences, and that's why I really appreciate your friendship because you're the one that maybe that's your purpose in life, motivate people like me and other ones around
And
you
you know
to,
what?
to
And I
fucking
try to,
grind.
and that's what I'm saying, man. I have God put me in that direction where I tell people, like, look, man, know that, and I get it, man. We all have our good days, our days that we doubt what we're doing, if it's worth it, man. But in the end of the day, man, it's just about being happy, homie, and being content. When the day that comedy doesn't become a happy place for me is the day that I walk away because
It's not worth it. It's not worth
it's
it.
not worth it, man.
Change the subject really quick. I'm very curious to know. Have you been to jail or prison before?
To jail, prison, no, man. Prison's never been my cup of tea, and not that I couldn't have gone because that's easy, but
I'm pretty
um,
sure the test to get in it's easy, bro. You just have to do some fucked up
well,
shit.
no, it's not easy because remember, there's like it's a 3 level process, man. The first level is the booking process. Now, the next level is knowing your charges, and then the third level is either you're gonna get out or you're gonna stay in for a minute. Now you have to adjust to the program in there because now remember, it's not like I can go take a shit like nothing. No, like I have to make sure that I get permission from the guys that are running that tier that I'm able to take a shit because you know it's
Eh,
it's politics. There's always someone there trying to take charge, and you gotta get permission through people, and then you have to, like, either say, okay, I'm gonna be for the hood, or I'm just trying to do my time and get out. So
Do
like I
they
said,
let you
man,
do your do they let you do your time and get out with the
yeah.
people there? Yeah. If you talk to
There's
people in jail and you say, "Hey man, I'm just here to do my time. I don't want to fuck around," they leave you
a,
alone.
a lot of the dudes in there, man. They're a lot of dudes busted are either alcoholics or drug users, man. So the only time that they get better in life is when they're in prison, because they're sobering up, so their mind is clear. So they're like, okay, I'm just trying to get my shit to get out and go do my dope again.
Hmm.
'Cause,
Okay, now, not you, but I'm saying, what is the craziest shit that you heard somebody keistered up their butt to sneak it into jail? I mean,
cell
what
phone,
usually
I,
cell phone?
actually a knife,
A knives? How do they
man.
fucking put them up their ass?
Bro, it's like I said, man. It's through experience, man, and it's just knowing how to say. Now
Practice?
imagine, because you have to transfer these weapons from jail to jail. So when you're taking that right to another prison, you'll stick that. You'll be having that fucking shit up your ass for about like 15 hours, man. So you really have to know how to keep that shit up there.
Tight, tight. So a cough,
Machito, homie,
a sneeze. If you sneeze, that shit's gonna come out.
So,
Wow.
yeah, man. So, like I said, you just gotta know how to, keister stuff. Cause one wrong movement, homie,
Well,
saludos, man.
that's right.
Adios,
You're
and,
carrying a knife in your butt. Now,
you know.
is it? Did they have the big Nokia phones? The twit.
Oh
They had
yeah,
Twitter. Did they ever sneak those in their
they
butts
snuck
too?
everything, bro. They snuck anything in, bro. Anything that
Uh,
people want, like I said, there's no. It just lets you know that how money works, man. If you got enough of it, you'll get it in, homie. So it's like,
yeah.
how does that work, man? Where you're supposed to be in prison, yet they're making videos. They do rap videos. They do all
I
like
know. I see people in prison. Fucking, they ate the Popeyes chicken sandwich, and
Popeyes,
he's
Big
in
Mac,
prison.
Big
Yes.
Mac.
How do you sneak it into jail? And if they put it up somebody's ass,
There's money. Well, no, because it comes in through the shipments. It comes in through the guards. It comes in through whatever format they have.
Mhm.
You know, it's the way not to get caught is not to be too nosy. So if you're getting money, from the inmates, you know, when you do your searches, you're not gonna do a full on. You know your blind spots to be like, look, I did my job. I don't know how the fuck he got the Big Mac in there, knowing damn well that
He's the one that
they
brought it.
they brought it, or they allowed a person to get it by, man. So,
Hmm.
and then it's the worst part now, bro, with the whole coronavirus, that they can't even have any visitors.
Yeah, because
So
they'll spread.
imagine now, man, like trying to be like everything, other prices go up because the demand is too high, and
Yeah,
no one's allowed to go to the prison. So,
nobody's moving
damn.
product. Nobody's moving product. So let me ask you a question. In prison, when you're all set up, they shut everything down because of the coronavirus, because of the safety of the visitors, or they didn't want you to bring as you the person that's
No,
visiting
no,
somebody.
well, first they don't want to bring out the outside word and contaminate, just like it's happened.
Mm-hmm.
Now imagine you contaminating you're contaminating their jail, and
Hmm.
then I don't know if you saw that video when you saw the bunch of inmates coughing on each other, so they can get
Yeah,
the coronavirus, so they're allowed to leave early from jail.
yeah, yeah. Well, my brother was one of them. My brother got released
Oh
from jail
wow!
because of coronavirus. He was supposed to serve 18 months for
Oh
stupid
wow!
shit, yeah, changing checks or something. Just to let you know, life's not perfect, but that's the black sheep of the family. Now, in jail, can they fine you with money? What if you have like $1,000 in ones? Do
That's the
they take
worst
it
thing
away?
you can do, man. That's the worst thing you can do.
So what do you do when you're getting cash? How do you fucking? save
Well,
it? How do you?
it's all apps now. It's all cash apps and stuff, dude.
Oh, so
That's
they
the
do it
view.
through Vidmo accounts.
And then not only that, but the system has its own banking for the inmates. You
But yeah,
know,
you so we don't exchange dollars. I say Venmo me, bro, and I'll take care
so
of it.
well, that's why they put it like say put the money on my books because that way it's like a jail credit card in there. It's where
Oh,
people
okay.
deposit money, and that's why they're like they trip out on some of these inmates. They're like, "You're a lifer here, but their accounts will be like like a max of $40,000. Like, how are you making $40,000?
A year,
Not even a
eh,
year. That's what they would have.
a
They never go
monthly.
low on money because they have, and then not only that, but then they have different bank accounts and stuff like that. So that's how they are able to
And
do
do they
the.
pay taxes on any of this? No, right? They're in jail. They don't pay taxes on any of this stuff.
It's not.
Wow, I want to go to jail. I can make money. Shit, that's crazy, bro. Now, Colin, if you could change one decision you made in life, what would it be? If you can change one decision, Joe.
Well, first I would have educated myself. You know, definitely would have had education in my life. Why?
For what? For what? For what? Why would you want education? Why is that one of your biggest concerns or one of the
Because
regrets?
like I said, with education, meaning you're able to do, you're not limited with education. It's one thing if you're like when you're in the streets, you're limited, bro. You're limited to where you can go, to where you can visit, to where you can do anything. You know,
Mhm.
when you're not, when you're, when you have an education, man, you're able to explore options, travel, get jobs where you're able to travel the world and make good money and live a great life. But instead, you choose to sit there and limit yourself to where you can go. Who's gonna want to kill you? Who's gonna want to shoot you? And then you're not even dying for anything special. You're just dying because you belong to a gang. So now imagine getting killed not by honor, but because you look a certain way. Is it
Mhm.
worth dying for? Not really.
Yeah. See, and I agree with you, but I asked you that question because that's always been my biggest argument. I said you want the gangs to change, you want society to change, educate your young youth, educate the young people because that gives
Morals,
you.
man. Install morals on people and install that. You know what? The biggest thing that I tell people is show people how to love, man, and not love in I want to love a person, but love themselves enough to respect their themselves, and so that way because when you respect yourself, bro, the chances of you going out there and doing something stupid are probably like in the minus because you know that what you'd have a good life, man. You're not gonna go out there. Would you go out there and go rob somebody knowing that you have a daughter at home?
No, I wouldn't
No,
because I know. Now, talking about daughters and talking about all this, I have a question for you. You're a comedian now. I consider you a professional. You've done enough work. You put in enough years. I consider you
I
a total professional
I don't
comedian.
even
You
consider
make.
my I consider myself an apprentice still, man. I think when I get to that level of where my booking is solid, and because like I said, man, regardless of what I've done, I've done enough to grow to at least have people say, you know what, we can count on you. You know what I'm saying? And that's awesome, dude, because it wasn't always like that. When you start off anything, they're like, look at this fool, like.
I don't know if he's gonna be funny. I don't know if he's gonna be. And then you killed it. If you could advise someone younger like me, okay, what's that can what what that can be? I don't know what that means.
What would it be?
Yeah, if
You
a
know what? I'm
younger.
gonna tell you this. If I can advise you in someone that's younger, man, is live your life without restrictions and just build on having dreams and making them a reality, man. A lot of people they procrastinate on what they want to do, and I'm like, look, man, do what you feel that makes you happy. That's gonna build you, and then everything else, man, is a piece of cake, man. Because it all starts with structure, man. If you don't have structure, dude, if you don't develop routines, structure, bro, then your life's never gonna be, on the right path. But let me say this, man. You don't see anybody in the army. wake up when they want to wake up, right? No, they wake up because in order for us to build, to be strong, we have to be in the same page and we have to develop routines. We gotta because hey, if your routine is every day I wake up, I do my bed, I clean my room, guess what? It's a beautiful routine to have because you'll never be a dirty person. But if imagine the army, everybody woke up when they want to wake up, and we're gonna be like, dude, what the hell kind of military do we have?
We'd be Afghanistan if that's if that was the case. Now, let me
Yeah,
ask you a question as a comic, as a comedian that's working. You know this guy. You've seen him around. What are your thoughts on Chris D'Elia's accusations of sexual misconduct with minors?
you know what, man? That's just an ugly situation. Period. If someone's guilty, then they deserve that punishment. If not, I hope that justice, does come to light because there's so many people out in jail that were just accused. And that's that we live in a society now, bro. That okay, I couldn't get you criminally, but I'm gonna get you financially. You're gonna have to pay me.
Hmm.
Like, how does that work for justice, man? Like, hey, dude, like what Bill Cosby did was horrible. But if you're gonna wait 40 years to finally say like he touched my bong bong, like nah, see that just doesn't work, man. If someone's doing you dirty, you do it now, man. Don't wait, until this person is almost gonna die, so you'll be like, hey, well, let me get something before he does die.
Hmm.
Bro, because I look at it like this, man. If you're allowing if you allow this person for 50 years to continue that habit, then you're just as responsible for not stopping it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you can't make the victim again. I totally understand what you're saying. I see your point of view, but a 15-year-old,
Well,
a
they're
16-year
not
old
victims
doesn't
no more,
know.
bro. They're
At
not
15,
victims no more.
what do you mean no more? Of course they're victims, Joe. How are they not
There comes
victims?
a point in time where you are, you know, are you gonna be scared of somebody that because he
Let me
punked
ask
you
you
at
a question.
15?
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Have you ever been butt fucked in prison or in jail?
No.
Would you tell me if you were?
Yeah.
No, you would. I don't
Look,
think you would.
I'll
I don't
tell you
think
why.
any.
No, look, I'll tell you why I would tell you because
What?
I would tell you for the simple fact that if you're my friend and I wouldn't want you to go through what I went through, I would have to speak to you in a sense and say, hey, if you don't take care of yourself, this is what's gonna happen. And it's like I said, it's nothing. It's one thing to enjoy it, and it's different. But it's one thing to get raped and say, hey, dude, be careful because if not, he's gonna do it to you. If not, he's
But
gonna do it
not
to you.
everybody. What my point here was, not everybody has that courage. You understand? Like
No, no,
you.
and I
Let's be
get it.
honest. There's some guys. Huh?
But
Go
when you
ahead.
have over like 20 women, like, so you're telling me that now and then to act like because remember they're not pursuing him criminally, they're pursuing him financially. Big difference. It's one thing to say I want justice and in jail, but they were like, no, we're building a lawsuit because that's what we're after. We're not after
Well,
him, we're after the
you.
money.
Well, what other way can you punish this person for what
But
they've
that's
done?
why. But I'm saying in the end of the day, it's not his crime that was committed. It was the money that people now want, because it sucks. What if someone came out while you're in your prime of your career and is like, oh, well, Richard touched me when I was, 16. You're like, what? Like,
Well,
dude,
I'll tell you this. That's something I don't worry about because I don't touch girls that are 16 years old or even mess with any underage girls
but
at all.
how many times back in the day, the biggest thing was lying about your age? If you just told someone, hey, I'm 18, okay,
Mhm.
I can believe that.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not really asking people for IDs. We're just like, okay, I believe you look young to be 18 because
But
especially the way women look.
that's the beauty of being 42. There was no Instagram, Facebook, or Snapchat back then. The problem with Bill Cosby is that abuse continued. Meaning, when he did it 20 years ago, 40 years ago, whenever the hell he was doing it, he never stopped. Meaning, he
But
never
let me ask you
matured. He was
this.
a sick person. Uh,
But let me ask you this, man. As being in the industry, the attention you get is pretty inviting from women. You
Oh,
know.
yeah, yeah. Oh, no, no, no.
So, so that's what
Yes,
I'm saying.
yes.
Like, so even if you did do what you did, but who's to say that? it was doing it the way they're saying you did. You know, because you could have just had a one night stand with somebody, and like I said, a lot of people they want to sit there and think, oh, oh yeah, he can definitely help my career, and when it doesn't happen, you hold
There's
that
that
bitterness.
bitterness, yes, yeah.
I
I
mean,
totally
like I said,
understand.
it's a sucky situation. It blows man either way because Bill Cosby was, like the Michael Jordan of comedy when it came to what he was stood for. He was a big figure, but at the same time too, man, we live in the world, man, where now it's everybody's trigger happy when it comes to suing, or they think you have money, so they're gonna find a way, man. So that's why, like, to me, man, I just do me when it comes to my career, and thank you, ladies, for the compliments and the laughs. But in the end of the day, I'm broke. You know what I'm saying? Not
And
only am
that's
I
why
broke,
I think that's why nobody's saying it. Elise says, I understand that you have been up to a lot of things and you might be late to a lot more. So do you think it's something you're looking forward to?
like, so I understand that you've been up to a lot of things, and you might be.
Uh,
Oh no, I'm always up. Look, it's crazy how, like I said, was I made for this industry? I don't know, man. Was I? But I'm gonna do. I'm late to a lot of things because I was a young father. Like, once my life started, like, once I complicated my life with having a girlfriend, then everything else, man, just kind of like crumbled, man. It was like just relationship. Then they get pregnant, and then I ended up having kids, and then I leave my ex-wife to join with my new girlfriend at the time, and then we have a child, and then she has three children. So then I'm raising six children, being a father. So what I'm saying, like, I'm trying to, dude. I went from
You made
trying to.
and wrong decisions. I'm just saying. I'm not gonna say these are not even mistakes. These are your children, and it was meant for it to happen. I get it. Could you have
Hey,
made better decisions? Maybe waited a little bit. Yes.
oh, perfect,
I'm
man. I
I'm the
waited.
totally opposite of you. I'm the totally opposite. I waited. I found a girl that I loved. I married her. I saved my money. I bought a home. Then had a child. But by
And you
then
see
I
what
had
I'm saying?
18
Like,
years
that's
of career.
that's
Yeah.
awesome. Me, but see, what helps me now is that my children are older to understand that when I have to go, I have to go. Compared to when they're small, because to me, honestly, the best times to be around your kid is when they're small,
Yeah.
because you're gonna mold them the way you want them to get. If you're very into education, you're molding them. Because you're in their life. But imagine being in and out. It's kind of like, you have a lot of that. How can I say? When you just
Influence.
feel your influence is not as strong as that person, that, like, your wife. If your wife is there every day, she's
Then
gonna be more on your wife's level of how she is, because she's gonna take after the dominant one. And it's not that you're not dominant, is that you're dominant in the
absent.
workforce. You're in
Yeah,
the
but you're
workforce.
absent.
You got to travel. That's just part of what comedy is, man. It's going
You
out there and
now think about it. When this happened to Chris, and by the way, my opinion on this, look, I have a little girl. That's a big concern for me of predators out there. But at the same time, I'm not gonna criticize this guy because I don't know the whole facts. I don't know everything. You
that's what I'm
understand? But
saying. Like, I could
the
only.
only thing I did tell you is this: if she told you I'm 16 and your next question was send me some naked pictures or send me a photo or whatever, and you were implying to send me naked pictures, at that point you knew it was wrong. You shouldn't have done it. Now, is there a price to pay for that? Of course there
Yeah,
is.
of
Okay,
course.
that
Well,
part
just like
aside.
Ron Jeremy, dude. Ron Jeremy just got himself in trouble with, and it's kind of
Okay,
like,
okay.
for as
So,
much.
have you
Mhm.
done anything in the past? Now, I sat down and I said I can't criticize this guy until I reflect on everything I've done in the past. Is there anything that you would say, man, I did this and I wish I wouldn't have done it? Or I know you won't admit it now, but fuck, how can I say? Like we've all made mistakes. We've all been assholes at times. But do you think any of that shit will come back and bite you in the ass, Joe?
Look, man, everything always comes back. If you get a seed, you throw it in the ground, you water it, you're gonna get fruit. You know, if you fucking sit there and go out there and cause chaos, look at my situation, bro. Like, that's how deep I was in my situation where now my karma is, dealing with disabilities because I was out there, disabling people myself. So when it comes down to it, everybody got to pay the price, homie.
What did I
But
do? I'm losing my hearing, bro. Why am I getting disabled? I went to the doctor. He said, you have a genetic problem where this is something that you inherit from
and there
a
you go.
relative,
It's a
and
genetic
you,
problem. There's just some things in life, bro, that it's just, it's out of your element. Just can't.
yeah, the doctor said that there's nothing you were going to be able to do about this. That your genetic was that you're just going to lose your
And
hearing
the only,
slowly
the
every
only,
year.
the beautiful thing about technology nowadays, the beautiful thing is that what if you have the money, you're able to buy yourself, or get the surgery
Ear,
to help you, and that's the beauty.
ear
Because
aids.
back then, if you were, now
That's
you're like,
it.
ooh, you know what I'm saying?
Ugh.
Like,
That's right.
mhm.
Now, when the zombie apocalypse comes, would would be your final meal? What would be your final meal? Colin wants to know, bro. If the
Well,
apocalypse zombie comes, what
wait
would
for
you
it.
be?
Wait for October. You guys can watch the movie Cholo Zombies that I'm in, man.
Oh, that's right. Is that the name of the movie, Cholo Zombie?
Yeah, Cholo
Okay.
Zombies, man. So you guys, and let me tell you real quick, man. That movie was made. I mean, walking on set to that movie was like walking into the American me, like the prison yard, because it was nothing but cholos and real. Like it wasn't like actor cholos. Like everybody that you saw there was like. I remember walking into the back house. Like I was in the front, they were shooting, so they're like, "You go to the back. That's where everyone's hanging out." And I just remember, like like a dog, I was like walking, like I'll feed me, and then like you're like, "Ooh, what the fuck?" I was like,
Ora!
"Ooh, like what?"
Oh, I'm
I
in the
was
wrong
like,
fucking hood right now.
you had people doing weights. You had groups. You had people without their shirts, all tatted down. You just had people like just like if you're walking to a prison yard, everybody had their corners with their people.
Everybody's repping hard then.
Everybody,
Everybody's
yeah, like I
repping
was
hard.
like, and then not only that, but I thought I see my homie right when I was driving to the place. I thought I saw my homie. He was because my homie Carlos Arellano, he has his face all tatted up and everything. So as I'm turning the corner, I see a dude with his face tatted. So I drive faster and I roll up all quick like, like what's up, fool? So that dude looks all pissed like, who the fuck is this? And I was like,
Oh
oh shit.
shit!
I was like, hey, do you know where they're filming the movie? And it just made it worse because it was hot. It was in the summertime, so the hot like the
The
his
heat.
face had that sun look, so he was just like, I was like, hey, are they filming the movie over here, man? I was like,
He's like,
he,
oh yeah,
ha-
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
he
over here.
happened to be the guy that does the cholo challenge. He's the one that does the cholo dance. He does a
Hmm.
bandana and he does
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
that, and he dances in front of the cars. It happened to be him, dude. But luckily, I was like, fucking Joe, fool, like.
You're gonna get
It seems
shot,
like
bro. You don't roll
I'm
up into
gonna,
cholos like that.
and just because like I say, just because I got the wrong, like didn't think of it, and sure enough, man, I almost cut my ass handed to me, man. I was like, shit.
So last meal, bro. What would be your last meal if you could eat a
Last
spread,
meal,
a prison spread?
not even, man. I would probably go with some enchiladas, homie, or something like that, man.
Your last meal
Like,
enchiladas. They're
yeah, homie,
delicious.
like, I gotta get something, man. That's gonna at least before the shit breaks loose, man. I gotta have something that
Okay,
was
look
worth
up
it,
these
man.
two plates. Mine would be pozole con pata de
Okay.
puerco. That's paisa
Oh,
shit. Pozole. Ooh, pozole. I would have pozole. So I forgot who asked the question. Look them up. Pozole and enchiladas. Those are the two final meals for us. Oh my God, Joe. So this Cholo movie, bro, or this zombie Cholo, is that what it's called?
Cholo Zombies.
Cholo Zombies. What's the plot of this movie? Without giving it away, what's the whole purpose of this movie? What's going on there?
It's about cholos, man, that are actually they're trying to find a bad cholo zombie. You know what I'm saying? So we're trying to work with the cops but the cops don't trust us, and so we gotta like take justice in our own hands, and it's all because you drink a beer and the beer would turn you into a cholo.
Who's the
So,
director?
I
Do you-
forgot their name, but
Uh,
when I this is what happened to me, man. Like, so I went to I did an acting class with Noel G. For those that don't know, that's the cholo that comes on Fast and
Hector,
Furious.
Hector from
Hector, yeah.
Fast and the Furious and a bunch of movies.
Uh,
Training Day.
so I went to his house. I took a course real quick. I just kind of want to have an idea of what his mind is. So he gave me some good man advice and good everything. So I was like, okay, cool. Um, this was on a Sunday. On a Wednesday, I get a phone call from Vince Romo. Hey, I want you to, be an extra in the movie, this and that. So I agreed. He's like, but it's on Thursday. You're gonna have to drive to Anaheim. I'm like, fudge, man. I'm in Victorville. I was like, man, okay, I'll do it, whatever. Because my girlfriend's like, hey, you've done comedy, you've done that. Now it's time to kind of move on some acting, get
Acting.
yourself some credits.
Yeah. Get your
All right, cool.
beak wet. Yeah.
So, well, my feet or my beak.
Yeah.
So now, so I go there and I walk into the studio and you'll see a big old box in the middle of the floor and it's nothing but old school cholo clothing, man. Like old school, like all that old school, like Pendletons, like the stuff that you would be like, wow, like this is straight from like back in the
Blood in,
days,
blood out. Yeah, yeah. The 80s,
like
90s.
good stuff, man. And so they're doing the makeup and like on the cholos, and I'm just kind of like, it's I just drank a monster, so I'm kind of feeling good. I'm just kind of like, you know, but it's early, so I'm like, oh man. So I was like, okay, I made a thing with myself. I said, I'm gonna do exactly what Noel G said, Hector. The acting dude. I'm gonna do exactly what he says, and let me see if it's true what he said. So the advice he said is be yourself, be funny, be likable, don't be shy. Know that hey, like you never know if you make the right people laugh, what they'll do for you. Ooh, he goes. Number one thing is just to have confidence, because if you have confidence and it makes you seem like you're not new to the game, so they're not gonna have issues with you. Like, what do I do? What do I do? Hey, you fake it till you make it, homie. So I started going around and I started telling jokes and I would go on set, say jokes, make them laugh, go out making everybody's now like an hour later it seems like a damn nightclub. Everybody's laughing, everybody's having a good time. Now the director comes and he's like, "You come here," and this is white guy, right? I'm just like, "Oh shit," without thinking, I'm like, "Hey, don't worry about it, man. I'll leave." So he laughs. He's like, and I'm like, he's like, "Where you going?" I'm like, "Hey, man, I'm gonna go home, dude. Like, don't trip. I got it. I'll kick myself out. You ain't gotta kick me out." So he's laughing still, like, you know. So he's like, "Are you seriously gonna go home?" I'm like, "Yeah, man. Don't worry about it. You don't gotta get people to escort me out or nothing." Because there was like these cholos behind me,
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, "You don't gotta get your people to kick me out." And then he's like, "Cholo, you're too funny, man. You're too funny. Who kicks himself out, Cholo? Oh my god!" And I was like, so I'm just like, I have that face where I'm like, like, what do I do? Like, am I gonna have to start stalking people or what? Like, and then he's like, he goes, "What's your name?" I'm like, "Do you need my stage name?" He's like, "You're a stripper too?" I'm like, "Well, you know what?" I'm like in my head, I'm like, "Well, I do own my own pole and shit. That's my prosthetic, So I'm like, damn. I'm like, no, I'm a comedian, They call me Joey Cholo, He's like, oh my god, you're so funny, man. I honestly believe you were kicking yourself out. I was literally kicking myself out. He thought I was just still joking.
uh,
The thing with those cholos behind me, they were waiting to get around me, so they were just standing there waiting for me to
uh,
move because I wasn't moving, and then the
uh,
guy was next to me, so they were waiting for me to like just scoot over so they can go to the set.
uh,
Once I moved over, they took off. I'm like, oh, I thought you had them wanting to escort me. He's like, I don't even know those cholos, man. I was like, he's like, look, let me ask you, he goes, I think you're funny, man. I think, he goes, I would love to add you to the movie. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, that's not thinking what they want to do. So he writes a part for me. So I'm rehearsing. I'm trying to memorize these lines, and the worst part is you can't memorize stuff when you're high, dude.
I know.
I'm like, fudge, man. Like, so now we get to the point where we start doing our scenes. I'm being interrogated because I ate my neighbors, right? That's what that's what they have me in for. And I was reading it. Then the director's like, no, 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 I don't like that. I don't like that. He goes, do it this way. We do it another way. He goes, I don't like it. He goes, hey, I know. Hey, Cholo, can you ad lib? And I'm like, what, homie? Ad lib? Yeah, I know how to ad lib. But let me tell you this, homie. Do you know how to ad lib? Because that's Cholo psychology, meaning, I don't know. Ad lib, in my head, I thought ad lib was talking like Arabian, like, orale, Cholo. Like, I'm thinking Ablib was like Aladdin, like, hey, Aladdin,
Yeah,
I'm like thinking
you
like,
didn't
oh,
even know it's to improvise, to just ad lib.
I live. I don't know. I'm not getting it. Like I said, that's why Cholo's like reverse psychology is like, I know what it is. Do you know what it is? So tell me what your definition of what Ablib, so I know if it matches mine, because I don't want to look stupid while you're trying to do something else. I don't know.
And then he
So he's
explained it.
like, well, it's just pretty much going with the flow. Just kind of making up your own lines, but just stick to the storyline.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, man, in my head, I'm like, ooh, chingada madre. I'm
Well, that's
like,
perfect.
God.
I know how to ad lib really good.
So then we ended up doing I didn't know filming was so tough in a sense where, because you have to, film this angle, this angle,
The
that angle,
reverse,
that
over the
angle.
shoulder. Yeah.
I was like, oh, snap, man. I thought it was just record one time, you're cool.
No, you shoot the same
So
scene several
we
times.
recorded, we recorded our scenes. We went to lunch. I asked the producer, "Hey, am I good to go?" Yeah, I go home the next day on Friday. I get a phone call from Vince. Hey, where you at? I'm at home. He's like, "What are you doing home?" I'm like, I asked him if they needed me. They said no. So then I had the director Mike was he hits me up, and he's like, "Where you at?" I'm like, damn fool, like, am I being interrogated? Like, I'm at home. He's like, hey, we need you. We need you on stage. We need you here. Like, you're supposed to, you're in the movie. We wrote you into the whole movie.
Oh shit!
What the hell? Like, what do you mean you wrote me into the whole movie? Like, I'm thinking like,
One shot, when that's it. I did my shot. That's it. No,
so
they
they're
said.
like, don't worry about it. They're like, look, come on Saturday. So that's when I went to that. On Saturday I went, and dude, believe it or not, bro, like I was gonna be in the whole movie, but I didn't. Like I said, man, at that time I was going through pains, a lot of pain through my legs. So I wasn't showing up to a lot of the scenes that I should have. I would have worked with so many people, but I would choose when I wanted to go. I had that mentality where I'm like, you know, it's hot, I don't care. And like I said, stuff that mentality took me out of meeting a lot of good people, and it took me out of being in the movie a lot more, because I would have been in the movie probably 80% of the movie. You know,
But you decided it's not worth it. The pain and the discomfort and just fuck it, laziness. You just said fuck it.
Laziness,
I don't
bro.
want to
That's
try to.
that's it. Like, exactly. It was. I didn't know the opportunity that I was given was such a big deal, because people would have, anybody would have been like, dude, I want to be in the whole movie. Like, I wasn't thinking like that. I was just thinking like, for the moment, you don't understand. Like, I'm a comedian. I'm not an actor. And
Mhm.
but you know what? They were so great to me, homie. They always when they did have me, they always made sure that I was. They always let me sport my George Cholo shirt, man. They just let me do my. They let me be creative, homie, with what I was gonna do, man. And it was, you know, it was an amazing time, dude, with amazing people, and I just know that next time I will never take advantage. Like not advantage, I will never be lazy when it comes to
Hmm.
working for my
Now,
career.
now, I want you to realize how your life has changed, how you're a different person. I don't know if you've noticed how much you've accomplished, and I know you don't give yourself that much credit. Um, what's next for you, bro? What is next for Joel Cholo? I know right now there's a pandemic, but what is next for you? And where can they see the Cholo zombie photos? Because I want,
Well,
I want to see those. I know you
well,
posted it
you
in
know
one of your.
what's next is we're doing a show. You guys can look it up on YouTube called the Show Los, SHOWLOS. Sholos. Instead of Cholos, it's Sholos. The rough cut, and it's with these guys right here, man. What's up, everybody? What's cracking, homie? What's up? What's up, homie?
Who's that? Who's that?
Hey, homie. Hey, they call me Wi-Fi, homie. Cause you know why? You know why they call me Wi-Fi?
Why?
Cause I'm always connected, homie. You know. So we have we're working on. We just you know me and the homie Bobby Guzman, another comedian, we were like, hey, you know what? Let's start doing something. I said, utilize this downtime for to create stuff. So we went and we created our first little video, just like an intro video. And then I met somebody named Alex, and he has the cameras, and he
The
used to
whole
do
setup.
all that kind of camera stuff. So I was like, he's like, Joe, I want to work with you and this and that. So I told him, I said, look, uh, we're not gonna get into so many projects because I want us to focus on one, so we're not too sloppy and have too much. I said, look, let's work on the Muppets. We'll create the Muppet, and what we're gonna do the rough cut edition where Muppets at our cholos. We do our comedy on it and do all that stuff. So you guys can watch our first official episode on the Cholos. You guys can check me out on Facebook. Instagram is Facebook is Joe L Cholo, so JoeElCholo. Same thing on Instagram and YouTube. You guys can watch my comedy videos, and so we're working on that, man. And it's just I'm finally gonna start being able to, like I said, for those of you that don't know, I'm a WMPT. I just had my recent amputation was in February. So believe it or not, the coronavirus helped me in a sense where I didn't miss out on comedy, because nobody was really doing it no more. Like everything got shut down. You know what it? I got to experience my family like I wanted to, like my girl, her kids, what I'm saying, because we would have some of the best nights, bro. Like our family night. You know what time it started, though?
What time?
At 1 in the morning, bro, is when we started having family night.
Wow.
So
Wow.
at
That's
1 in the
dope.
morning, we get the board games and we start playing them. So we'll start playing like Uno. We'll start playing all these little board games.
Mhm.
After that, we'll play some video games. After that, then we'll end it with like one movie or two movies. So by the time we wouldn't go to bed to probably like 7 or 8 in the morning, and to
Wow.
redo it all over again.
Wow. Listen, I know you created these packages to go to prison. Can you show me some of the items that
Oh
when they
man,
go to your shows they can
honestly,
buy?
bro, I wish I would have brought them. I left everything on my lady's pad. I
Okay.
thought I was, but like I said, guys, don't even trip. You guys just go to my page, and I'll show you guys. I'll post the pictures.
It's the funniest
I
thing, guys. Like he gives you the prison package. So if you're gonna go to jail, he gives you everything you're gonna need in jail: a toothbrush, a shanky.
well,
I mean,
I call it a jail kit.
a what?
Like if you guys ever seen Toy Story, you'll see the forky, right? The little fork with the little,
Forky.
Well, I make Shanky's a little knives with the mustache and the eyes, and like it's really decked out. So I'm saying, like, I'll show you guys. I'll post up pictures
Instagram.
on
Put
my
them on your
walls and
Instagram.
stuff. And I even sent a picture to Richard, and you guys can see it.
Yeah.
And then I saw Joe a Cholo shirt with my logo, my logos and stuff. And like I said, it's been a blessing, though, like to be able to accomplish something that I never thought I would ever. I never thought I was good at anything, bro. Besides, just
Gang banging.
being.
A thug.
Not even that. I don't even think I was a good game banger, bro. Well, because a good game banger would have joined the M and had power. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't feel like that was for me. Like a lot of things in my like I said, it's when you finally decide to grow up that you know what you're worth. You know, and if you decide to grow up when you're finally 40, well, then you have to kind of decide what my 40s, 50s are gonna be about, man. And
Well,
I'm
bro,
thankful that
our
I'm
time
thankful that I
is
met you,
up.
dog.
Oh no, bro! I'm thank you that I met you, man. That's what I'm telling you. That's you never know what your purpose in life is going to
And
be.
for you guys out there, man, like I said, talking to Richard was one thing, but the first time I actually got to hang out with him, we ended up going across the border, man.
Yeah, I
and
remember that with the TJ.
we went to TJ, man, and and it was something different, man. The blast, the culture out there, when it came to comedy, they really respected and they really love comedy out there, man. So I'm pretty sure everybody out there, man, in the UK and the Londons and all that, man. Like I said, I hope to one day be able to grace the stages out there, and hopefully, I got mad love for
Do you have a
all.
passport? Do you have a passport?
You know what, man? The good thing about a passport is I can always get one. That's the
No,
beautiful thing, man.
you
Do
got
I
it,
have
Joe.
one? As of not right now, but soon.
Thank you very much, Joe. Love you, bro. Thank you very much for hanging out. This is another
Oh,
episode of
one
Yerbabuena.
more
Go
thing,
ahead.
man. One
What?
more thing, man. Just want to tell everybody that today I lost my grandfather, man. I lost him at
All right.
Walmart.
Fucking guy. Bye bye, everybody. Thank you.
Much
Thank
love,
you, Joe.
man.
Take it easy, man. And there you go. Thank you, guys.
Sauce. Gotta log out real quick. All right, cool.